We're going to be talking about the week of April 20th.
Yes.
We have some earnings, some more earnings, some more earnings,
And then more earnings on top of that.
and then more earnings on top of that. And then more earnings. It's literally all just earnings. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AM studio. It is another beautiful Friday here. I'm Alex.
And I'm Michael.
And today, we are going to give you a market recap for the week, April 20th. Our focus is going to be earnings.
And more earnings.
Absolutely. We have 140 big hitters coming at us next week, all reporting earnings at different times.
Yes, and we are going to give you some of our favorites.
Let's dive right into it. All right, let's jump right into our major indices this week. The SPX, the S&P 500, how'd they do?
Alex, they're down 1.32% this week.
Not terrible. How about the Dow Jones?
They were down 1.93% this week.
All right, let's move to the NASDAQ.
They were down 0.18%.
And then the Russell 2000.
We had a winner here, up 0.3%.
Big gains right there, 0.3%. I mean, the small caps and the mid caps, though, they always act very differently compared to our big markets.
Yes.
I've always noticed that. So I think
You're right.
I think in the future we can definitely dive deeper into the Russell 2000. But for now, let's just keep an eye on it. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, and if in future episodes, I would love to do that with you.
Yeah, let us know. Do you guys want to know more about the Russell 2000? I think there's a lot of smaller companies in there that we could profit off of. But anyways, on to the next one. Let's talk about some gold. Gold was actually up 2.9% this week.
That's correct.
And then we had oil down 5.8%, but a very good rally despite we had futures that traded negative.
Yeah, oil really rallied this week from what it could have been. It could have been a disastrous week
Absolutely.
in all regards to oil, but they really rose up. They rose up when they needed to, Alex, and that's what you love to see.
All right, Mike, let's move into our notable performers this week.
Yes. Alex, I'm going to touch on some of my weekly and long-term plays. To begin, Boeing. Pretty disappointing week. They were down a little over 12%. They postponed their 737 MAX certification until later in the summer, which definitely had something to do with their stock price falling this week. No need to fret. Long term, they're still a solid company, and we're going to keep holding on. Alibaba Holding Group, they were down 2.37% this week. Another strong company. Long term is what we're looking at here. Continue to be holding them. Sony, down a little less than 1%. It is what it is. Some weekly picks that were not up to snuff, but over the long term, they are going to be something that we're going to continue to monitor and want to hold on to.
It's very well put. I would like to transition into my notable performers of this week. Intel Corporation, they had earnings yesterday, 4/23, and actually did very well with their earnings. They beat their expected earnings per share, and they beat their expected revenue as well. Beat both of those and somehow managed to fall after hours. Their stock price fell to about $56.20. So it was down after hours, as I mentioned, but rallied today, was very strong, and closed at $59.26. They did great. Overall, I'm bullish. Right now, in my opinion, I think the timing could be slightly off. They might be right in between support and resistance. So I would hold off before you get into the entry and just kind of see for a pattern to form, and then we can jump into it.
Yeah, and I know that you were telling me off camera, you're definitely going to be taking a hard look at them, and we're definitely going to be informing all of you as well when the right time to hop in on Intel
and
is.
it's not just Intel, in my opinion. It's
correct.
I like AMD. I like a lot of the semiconductors. I think they're a big proponent of the tech sector as a whole. So the semiconductors play a pretty big role in that alone. So that's why I'm just pretty bullish there. We've been bullish tech the whole way. So
yes, we have.
There's no reason not to be bullish in semiconductors. Anyways, let's move into Facebook here. Facebook also, tech company, I'm also extremely bearish, I'm extremely bullish on. Love Facebook. Their announcement today of a 50-person group chat, which is a direct competitor with Zoom, was actually a big reason why that stock made a push into close today as well. And then Zoom.
You know, real quick, actually, I want to, before you get into Zoom, I want to say one other thing about Facebook that I noticed this week, news-wise. They have a kids messenger sort of app coming out along with their messenger app already. And I know that is something that parents are really going to be looking into because, you know, kids these days got their
kids these days.
Yeah, they got their iPads and their
cellular
digits.
devices.
Yes, all these
goodness.
gadgets nowadays that
yes.
we also use, but we're older now, so we're
allowed.
We are allowed. Yes, exactly,
allowed.
Alex. That's exactly what I was going at. But anyway, they are coming out with that as well. So long term, that could be something to look at too.
Sorry for pointing that out.
Interrupt you there, but I had to point that out real quick.
Hey, no worries. Like I mentioned, Zoom, great competitor. They've had a pretty strong rally this week, but that rally got shot down today because of Facebook. So
some were saying they were zooming on by, but they're about to hit a brick wall here soon.
I agree. Zoom, short term, I'm still bullish on. They could be reaching overbought levels very soon.
Yes.
Which is fine, but they reported users of 300 million active users or something like that. I don't see that lasting once everybody starts going outside and we actually start socializing face to face. So that's my 2 cents on Zoom.
Lastly, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this company, Athersize, in a previous video. Stock ticker ATHX. They were up 25.84% this week. You're going to want to start looking to get out of that position if you did end up getting in. Yeah, they're right around that level where you're going to want to get out soon before they kind of take a dip. Take your gains and get out while you can.
Absolutely. And that's really just a recap of our notable earners and performers this week.
Yep.
So let's take a look at some of the notable earnings we're actually going to have next week and really get into the nitty-gritty now.
And we're coming right back at you with some earnings reports coming out next week, starting with April 28th. Alex, take it away.
Yes, Michael, thank you so much. We have Google coming out with earnings next week, and that is GOOGL. We know Google has 2 separate share offerings. So
correct.
That one's coming out April 28th.
Yes.
Let's move into April 29th. We have earnings of Qualcomm, Tesla, Facebook, and Microsoft.
Something to note about those as well, they're all after market close.
Absolutely. So we'll be expecting to watch those shares during the day to see how they trade in anticipation of those earnings.
Correct.
Looking forward to it. And let's move into April 30th.
We have Apple,
Yes.
also after market close, and they are someone you're going to want to watch out for. Every time they have earnings, something happens, and we are going to be monitoring it closely. Moving on to May 1st, Alex, take it away.
We have ExxonMobil, and they are before market open as well that day. So I will be right there, 9:30 in the morning, box of popcorn, and just watching, just there for a good time. I'm not going to be partaking. That's a little risky time, but
yes,
we will be there.
Yes, we will. And finally, on May 7th,
we have Raytheon Tech Corporation before market open. Heard a lot of good things about them. Personally, going to have to look a little deeper. Definitely look at the technicals, look at the fundamentals.
Correct.
However, just keep in mind they do have earnings coming out.
Yes, they do, Alex. And that was our quick rapid-fire earnings report. And that's it for today's episode, and we have something very special coming for you on Monday. You are not going to want to miss it. Alex, tell these people why they need to watch our show on Monday.
Listen, why Monday is so important is because we have all these earnings coming out, and we are going to specify exactly what our plan is to make money during earnings times. So earnings times, very volatile time, but very profitable time as well. So tune in Monday and follow along, and we are going to make some money together.
And we also have something else very important to share. You're going to have to tune in to see.